Well, hey everybody, this is Chris DeFurio with Keys to the Shop. Welcome to another edition of Shift Break. Today's episode is brought to you by the Ground Control Cyclops Brewer from Voga Coffee. And I truly believe that this piece of equipment is not only revolutionizing the coffee industry, but also can revolutionize the way that you brew coffee in your cafe. It just gives you such precise and consistent control over flavors that you never thought you could really coax from your coffee. That is thanks to their SCA award-winning technology. This machine is not only giving you higher quality batch brew coffee, but it can also make hot chocolate, tea, and batched iced lattes and batched cold brew. So not only is the Ground Control about higher levels of quality and consistency, but also about higher levels of efficiency and productivity. So this is a win-win in my mind. And if those things sound appealing to you for your business, then I recommend you look into getting a Ground Control Cyclops brewer for your cafe. To find out more about getting this in your store, go visit them at their website over at groundcontrol.coffee. Today's episode is also brought to you by La Marzocco. Now, La Marzocco has been making espresso machines by hand in Florence, Italy since 1927, and they have grown hand in hand with the specialty coffee industry, being plugged into the needs of their customers running coffee shops around the world ever since then. Back in 2018, they created a competition called Crush the Rush that focused on the all-important qualities of speed, efficiency, and consistency of baristas on bar. Now, in that barista competition, they not only featured their new KB90 espresso machine, which has straight-in locking portafilters for better speed and ergonomics, has auto flush for better cleanliness, and built-in scales for consistency and flow, but they also featured their new Maser Rober S grinder, which are updated grinders from Maser, which grind 18 grams of coffee in 3 seconds and have over 50% reduction in grind retention. And what their equipment and the competition highlights is the fact that La Marzocco is always wanting to be a company that equips people to be successful in their coffee operations. La Marzocco USA is available to help coffee entrepreneurs like you get the best equipment for their shop. So definitely reach out to one of their sales directors today by emailing info@lamarzocousa.com. And you could also go to their website, lamarzocousa.com. Okay, everybody. Well, today I wanted to talk to you about positive doubt. So here's what I mean by positive doubt. When you're a manager and you are talking to a staff member, or let's say you're an owner and you're talking to a manager, one thing that happens a lot is you ask a question, you get an answer, and you are satisfied with that answer. On the surface, this sounds completely fine, and you'd be right, except you're forgetting about the power dynamic. There's a lot of different things at play here, and it's not just in your lap. This is not just something that's due to the power differential. It's also due to the fact that you're talking with another sentient being who has a complex range of emotions and judgments about their own performance, maybe not even related to you. Now, of course, we talk on the show often about how our behavior as leaders or in possessing any form of authority in the cafe can exacerbate things or even just be the complete cause for toxicity, miscommunication, lack of clarity. What I'm here to say is that I think we need to exercise more positive doubt in the way that we communicate or what we're willing to accept from people when we get answers from managers and those that we lead. It's not based on some kind of a doubt that says, well, they're trying to keep something from me and I'm going to get to the bottom of this. It's just that sometimes people are not as forthright as they need to be in order for the information they give you to be helpful. So if you talk with somebody who is going through a hard time with a coworker, but they don't want to seem divisive, if you ask them how it's going, they might sugarcoat it and tell you that things are going okay. Things got a little tense, but we're good right now. And some part of you is thinking there's more to the story than that. So here's where a good place to ask questions would be. You can alleviate some of their concern about saying the wrong thing by actually telling them you're not going to be saying the wrong thing by being a little bit more descriptive. You could ask questions like, tell me more about that. I wonder if you can go into more detail about this. I'm wanting to know just so I can help the situation more. And doing that consistently will help people open up with you to share more helpful details so that we can get more helpful solutions. If people are constantly keeping stuff inside and not sharing critical details of interstaff conflict, operational dysfunction, just personal issues that they might even be having with you, these are the types of things that boil over at some point. People will put in their 2 weeks notice. People will underperform. They will start to become, depressed or angry or any number of things. I know this because I was that person many times where I just kept it bottled in. And for whatever reason, I thought it more noble for me to fall on the sword than to actually fight the battle. But it's something that happens a lot of times with managers because the manager has this extra responsibility. They don't want to let people down. And so they take it all in and they kind of hold it in their mind. They put it in the back burner. They stack it up. The thing is, you keep putting things on the back burner, there's not going to be any room left on the stove. You have to get this stuff out. So my advice to you here is exercise some positive doubt. Call it curiosity. Call it just getting to the bottom of things without making the person feel as though you are accusing them of holding something back. See, that's negative doubt. That's trying to criminalize the withholding of information. You see how bad that sounds? Positive doubt has everything to do with saying, this person probably has a really good reason for not telling me exactly what I need to know. Because most people do. And it could be that power differential, that maybe you're not vulnerable enough with them. Maybe you're not really giving off the vibe that you want to hear this type of information. You're not as accessible or open as you think you are. There's a lot of different factors. But our job is to cultivate an environment through this type of curiosity and this positive doubt, if you will, that gets to the bottom of it a little bit more and says, tell me more. I wonder if you could say more about that and be a little bit more clear and detailed. I'm not completely understanding what exactly happened with you and the manager. What exactly is going on in the cafe that led to this problem? And by doing these types of exercises and getting more curious and not just taking the first answer that comes out of somebody's mouth and saying, well, that's all I need to know, we actually end up being able to help more. And so I would encourage you, don't make the assumption that when you get an answer that you're getting the whole truth from that. Do it in a way that doesn't make the person feel like you're cross-examining them, and be on their side, be for them. Create an environment where you're there to help make suggestions and create solutions for these issues. And over time, as you practice this, people will start opening up to you in more detail right off of the bat. But it's going to take a little bit of time to do this. So I hope that today's episode was helpful for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me. And I will see you here next week on another edition of Shift Break. From keys to the shop.